Ladies and gentlemen, Treyarch have just dropped a brand new Black Ops 7 Zombies blog post, which is going to have a bunch of information about the game, likely a bunch of new information, including some new updates on Cursed mode, showing off the equipment in the game, different enhancements, augments, Gobblegums, all that stuff. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to learn in this blog post, but let's just check it out. So first of all, here is a second glance at Ashes of the Damned. Guess they're just going to be showing off some new images of the map, and overall it looks pretty great. I mean, we've already seen a lot of this map from the trailers and such, but I hope if they can change one thing, I do think the colors are a little washed out here or there. It looks gorgeous, don't get me wrong, it does, but playing it in the beta especially, the colors felt a little bit washed. I think they need to up the saturation and the contrast a little bit just to make it, you know, work a little bit better. But so first of all, we have Janus Towers Plaza. This is a research stronghold in Liberty Falls, built in 1989, arrived in the Dark Ether in 1991. Obviously, we know about that. Van Dorn Farm comes from, oh, I like how it's telling you when the place was built and also when it arrived in the Dark Ether. So here, this was built in 1920, but it arrived in the Dark Ether in 1986, which is interestingly close to Nikolai's timeline. Like, each character also comes from a specific point in time, and that's very close to where Nikolai comes from. Blackwater Lake is a cabin by a frozen lake built in 1940, arrived in Dark Ether in the 1950s. Okay, that's interesting. That's kind of close to Richthofen, I guess. Or I guess it's also kind of close to Dempsey. And the Blackwater Lake probably looks the coolest out of any of the locations, in my opinion. I love the snowy feel of it. It definitely looks really cool. Ashwood is a frontier town built in 1820, arrived in Dark Ether in 1865, which that's not close to any of the characters, but that's definitely close to where Buried that town was from. Exit 115, roadside stop built between 1950 and 1980, arrived in the Dark Ether in 1989. And this also is one of the coolest looking areas on the map as well. Zyra Cosmodrome, which of course is Ascension, a Soviet era launch facility built in 1960, arrived in the Dark Ether in 1968. So that is 1968. That is where Dempsey comes from. So it is interesting that some of the dates line up with the characters and where they come from as well. Then we have the fog. Oh, these are some new images. We definitely haven't seen these before, at least not all of these. There's a boat in the fog, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of bones here. I saw someone say that the bones are meant to be Orda's bones, but they kind of look more like a dinosaur. But I don't know. I guess it could be Z-Rex. It could be Orda. Who knows? I got no clue. Beware of the fog, dangerous thoroughfares with hidden horrors shrouded in the mist. So of course, the main quest is going to be launching at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Friday, November 14th, even though you will be able to play the game way before that because of the whole New Zealand thing. If you change your time zone to New Zealand on your Xbox, you should be able to play it early. I'll do a video on that, you know, doing a little tutorial on how to do that. Okay, so here's Survive Your Way, Loadout weapons, and more. This is going to show off, I guess, a lot of the weapons in the game. I don't know if it's going to show us literally every weapon, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Some of this is just like common sense stuff we don't have to go over because we all know how zombies work. So if you're watching this video, you know how zombies works. I don't think we need to go in depth with it. Oh, this is a cool image. Look at this. You got the new mutant injection thing. It's called the Disciple Injection, right? So it's going to be showing off some new stuff, I guess. Some new stuff we can unlock. There's a stim shot. Oh, so there's a tactical equipment, stim shot, symbol monkey, psych grenade, hunter bot, Casimir, and the decoy. Doesn't seem to be any new tactical equipment, but to be fair, this is loadout equipment. Or like, I guess two of them aren't loadout equipment, but these are probably ones that are going to be like in the arsenal station, right? Or not the arsenal station, the crafting bench. But there's hopefully going to be some unique ones because, like, for example, the Ether Blade on Reckoning, that's not in the crafting bench. So I hope they can at least give us some map unique ones as well, not just the ones in the bench. Here we have lethal equipment, cluster grenade, sticky grenade, Molotov, point turret, C4, and combat axe. And then for support equipment, we have the Mangler cannon, sentry turret, HKDs. Wait, what? The freaking HKDs are going to be in zombies? Look, I'm not against Scorestreaks and zombies. I've talked about that many times before. I just don't like the implementation of them. I don't like them being in the crafting bench the way they are. Hopefully you can change that in cursed mode with some relic or something. But I mean, HKDs in multiplayer is going to be, or in zombies is going to be kind of crazy. Got the LDBR, which is from Black Ops 6, the hand cannon, and the Disciple Injection. So that's interesting. There's no chopper gunner. There was a leak that the VTOL was going to be available in zombies. There was also a leak that the dog killstreak was going to be available in zombies, but part of me feels like they'll probably add that in later, or maybe they just decided not to add them in for whatever reason. Maybe they thought it wouldn't make any sense to call those in the dark ether, but I don't know. I guess HKDs are going to be pretty interesting, seeing those little things just kind of roll around and blow up zombies. I'm not against it though. And then obviously we got augment research for ammo mods, crowd freeze, fireworks, napalm burst, shadow rift, and brand rot, field upgrades, frenzied guard, healing aura, toxic growth, ether shroud. Is that it? There's more than that, right? There's only gonna be 4 field upgrades at launch. They're getting rid of a lot of them. I guess they're adding a lot of them back though, right? With season 1, they mentioned that a lot of them are going to get thrown back into the game. So I don't think they're all going to be gone forever. Obviously, they're just at launch, they wanted a bit less, I guess. Probably to give things like toxic growth more use. I guess they thought people weren't going to use it as much if they had way too many field upgrades available at launch. I don't really know. And then here's Gobblegums. Are these all the new Gobblegums? No, these ones we already had in the game before. Oh, it's just, you're just given these Gobblegums for reaching those levels, right? It's not like you have to reach that level to have that Gobblegum, because it's still going to be carried forward Gobblegums, right? So, okay. Not really too big of a deal. Here's some images of the equipment. We already kind of talked about it though, but yeah, if you want to see what the images are like. I do hope that like Casimirs and Monkey Bombs, I hope they have like upgrade processes for it. You know, I think it was cool in the past where they used to have like equipment upgrade side quests. I would like to see them bring that concept back. They haven't really done that in a while. And here it's just letting you know where the items come from. Obviously they're going to be loadout or the crafting bench, enemy drops, or reward chests, which is how it's always been. And then when it comes to stuff like the Casimirs, those are only in the crafting bench. I wish they were also in the mystery box, to be honest. I don't really see why they wouldn't be, but I guess they're not. It's okay. No really big deal there. And if you want to see how much salvage is required for each of them, you can read that as well. It doesn't really interest me that much. This type of stuff is like the least interesting stuff in zombies to me, because it's just like the streamlined stuff that's going to be on every map. It doesn't really matter much to me, to be honest. It's not going to make or break the game. I do wish they just implemented these things differently, though. I really don't like the whole crafting bench system. Which again, I hope they can give us a relic to change that in zombies, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then here's support equipment. So obviously it's going to be the Scorestreaks, but also armor plates and self-revives as well, which obviously a lot of people are not happy with the armor plates. We've been that way for a while, and you know, it's going to be there. Hopefully they can add a relic later into the life cycle that removes it or something, but for now it's going to be in every part of the game. And yeah, obviously self-revive kits 1500, we know how that works. Armor plates 50, yeah, it's no really different there. Disciple injections 2500, it's the same as the mutant injection. HKDs is only 1250. Okay, I'm wondering if they're not going to be like that good then, if they're only 1250. And then here are some other support streaks as well. Oh, I didn't realize the ARCXD is also back. Okay. Oh, the dog is there. Wait, what? They didn't show the dog up here though. That's kind of weird. I don't know if there's a reason for that, why they didn't show dog up here, but it's, I don't know. I'm not going to question it, but yeah, okay, dog is going to be in the game then as a support streak, I guess. The VTOL ship isn't though, so you're not going to be able to call in a VTOL. And the dog is 2250, and that's going to be kind of crazy. Oh, it's not, I see. It's not there because you unlock it immediately, and they were just showing you the ones you unlock. Oh, all right, my bad. That's kind of confusing though. They should have shown this first, and there's no need to show that in the blog post, whatever, besides the point. But yeah, so we are going to have the dog then, which I'm fine with. Again, I'm not against it. Here is the augments and research. I feel like they already shown us all the augments, right? They already told us all of them. You can swap active researching to a different enhancement at any time. Remember to access the equipped augments menu and choose a major and minor augments. So I understand why they're not changing this now, because, you know, they're carrying forward the augment progress from the last game, so it wouldn't make much sense. But I do kind of wish that this entire system worked entirely differently. I think it would have been a lot cooler if to upgrade your items, like the augments, you actually have to use the item. I think that would be so much more interesting, but they do it in a way to where you don't have to like have it selected to progress it. You know, you can progress any of them at any time. It's just you have to use it to progress it. So for example, if you want to progress your ammo mods augments, you have to actually get kills with those ammo mods to do that, and you could do that at any time. I think that would be so much more interesting, because what happens that would get people to use a variety of items in the game. That would get people to use every ammo mod. It would get people to use every field upgrade, every perk. But in Black Ops 6, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of ammo mods and a lot of field upgrades I really didn't even bother trying, because I was like, no, I'm pretty happy with the specific ones I like to use. But you know, I was able to unlock the augments for the other things regardless of me using them or not. So I think that could have been way more interesting if they handled that differently, but it seems like it's going to be the exact same as Black Ops 6. And here's the perks, which they look gorgeous. I do wish, I really thought, honestly, we were going to go back to the bottles, because I thought, oh, we're going to the Dark Ether. They're trying to bank on nostalgia. I was like, oh, it would be really cool if they swapped back to doing bottles instead of cans, because we haven't seen bottles since Black Ops 4. But unfortunately, they didn't do that yet. I hope maybe Black Ops 8, they'll revert back to it. Not that I have a problem with cans. The cans are cool and all, but it would be like the perfect time to switch back to bottles, in my opinion. But these still look great. They all look pretty. Wisp Tea looks pretty interesting as well. I'm definitely happy with the perks in this game. Here's the ammo mods. So there are more ammo mods than what I was reading then. Okay, I was just reading the ones that were unlockable, I guess, but these are the ones in the game. So there are more ammo mods. And same thing goes for field upgrades as well. There are more than what I saw. My bad. I was kind of confused there for a second, but yes, there is obviously more at launch than what I was originally seeing. Most of it is just from Black Ops 6 though, of course. And then here are the Gobblegums. There's, yeah, obviously way more Gobblegums than what we're showing off here. These are just the ones you're getting for reaching specific levels. I guess we'll read through the Gobblegums. So there's 10 rare Gobblegums, 9 returning, and 1 new. Yeah, not a lot of new Gobblegums, obviously. Most of these are just returning from the last game. Aftertaste is the new one here. You get to keep your perks if you go down, which is obviously pretty useful. I like how the Dead Ops Arcade 4 Gobblegums is like a different thing, because obviously Dead Ops Arcade 4 works very differently, so the Gobblegums are going to work very differently. I kind of don't really care for Gobblegums in Dead Ops Arcade 4, but I believe there's going to be a mode that disables Gobblegums, so I'll probably stick to that mode. I don't really want Gobblegums in Dead Ops Arcade 4 like at all. And then with Epic Gobblegums, there's 11 or 9 returning and 2 new ones. The new ones are re-equipment, where you get to re-equipment, your equipment slots refill over time. So, I mean, that's not the most useful thing in the world, but could be interesting. And then obviously Powered Vacuum is another new one, where you have a higher chance to spawn power-ups. Then with Legendary, 12 Legendary, 10 returning, 2 new. The new ones are Round Off, which rounds are prevented from advancing, lasts 2 rounds. I don't really know how I like the sound of that. It doesn't really sound that interesting, to be honest. And then Armageddon, where you receive a 3-plate armor vest. That is incredibly useful. That is obviously going to be saving you a lot of points, so I'm sure people will be using that quite a bit. Ultra Gobblegums, 6 returning and 1 new. The new one is, of course, Gift Card, where you get 30,000 essence, which is also really crazy. That's basically their version of shopping free, probably even better than shopping free, to be honest. I mean, you're gonna be chilling with that amount of points, I guess. And then Whimsical Gobblegums, they all just return the way they are. I don't care for these, but they're just there. A lot of stuff we've seen already is stuff that doesn't really make or break my experience. I've kind of noticed that. It's just kind of like, okay, it's just content, but it's not really going to change much. Okay, now they're going to be talking about modes, including Cursed. I hope they reveal some new stuff. I hope they tell us like a new relic or a new feature or something, man. I'm so nervous. I don't know. I don't think they're going to say that much, but let's hope for the best. Whether you're slowly uncovering the stark interdimensional terror of Ashes of the Damned, or you want to get into the Dark Ether and slay at the highest rounds possible, there's a match type for you. You have Training Course, which is new to the game. Standard, traditional round-based zombies on the biggest round-based map ever, Ashes of the Damned. Directed, which will come with Season 1, a streamlined path through a zombies map. Wait, Directed Season 1? So it's going to drop the same day the new zombies map drops as well, like Directed for Ashes. That's interesting. So yeah, obviously we know how Directed works. We've, played it in Black Ops 6. It's going to be probably about the exact same. Survival, attempt to survive in a smaller, confined location for as long as possible. The first survival map of Van Dorn Farm was playable at the Black Ops 7 beta and is available at launch. And then we've Cursed, a more challenging experience for advanced players. Additionally, players can discover and activate relics to face even harder challenges in exchange for new levels of power and rewards. They didn't say shit about legacy mechanics there. But we'll see what they talk about with Cursed next, because they are going to be given another glimpse at it, it seems. So let's see what they say. All right, once you found out how to access Cursed, the real challenge begins. Your focus now shifts to the following rules that govern this mode. You have relics, which you acquire relics by completing challenges in Cursed mode. Okay, so you get them by completing challenges in Cursed mode. They don't say what the challenges are, at least right now, but we know that there's challenges, right? I'm assuming it's going to be like side quest type stuff, maybe even doing the main quest in specific ways, who knows. Tiers, equipped relics to increase your current tier level and add unique challenges and bonuses to your match. So the more relics you have, the higher the tier gets, which increases the amount of bonuses you get. Rewards, you complete Cursed at different tier levels to unlock exclusive rewards. Okay, so they're gonna go a little more in depth, it seems. Relics, these are significant debuffs to increase the challenge in a Cursed match. There are 9 to find. Okay, 9 relics. That's not a lot. I honestly was expecting a lot more than that, but there's 9. Okay, at launch at least. They already confirmed they're going to be adding more throughout the season. So there's 9 to find across Ashes of the Damned. The more potent the relic, the greater the challenge you face when the relic is chosen. However, the more potent the relic, the greater your tier power becomes. And we have tiers. With relics adding significant challenges to your matches, you'll want some otherworldly assistance as well. This is where tier unlocks come in. There are 3 tiers to unlock before you drop into your next cursed match. A tier bar fills up as you choose the relics you wish to employ for your next match. The only way to unlock tiers is to pick relics. The more potent the relic, the more of the tier bar it unlocks. Okay, so if the relic is a bigger debuff, then it's okay, then it's going to give you it's going to fill up the bar more, right, to I guess go through the tiers, which, as they said, there's what they said 3 tiers. As you continue to play more cursed matches, you'll find clues to unlock more relics. So I don't know what the rewards are. Is there only going to be 3 rewards then, because it says there's 3 tiers and they already mentioned that one of the rewards was golden armor. So is there just 2 other rewards then? And that's it? I mean, I don't know. That doesn't sound as crazy as I was hoping, but I mean, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Aside from unearthing some fiendish challenges as you hunt down all 9 relics, there are fabled rewards on offer for those brave or deranged enough to complete Ashes of the Damned and Cursed tier 1, 2, and 3. Kind of sounds like they're taking some elements from what is it? Modern Warfare Zombies with the whole tier zones. I don't think it's going to play the exact same with the whole tier zones, obviously. That's not like going to dictate the exact challenge of it, but yeah, obviously as you go up in the tiers, it's going to get harder. I honestly, look, I get it, they're trying to keep things secretive and stuff, but that didn't really give me that much information. Like, what I'm so curious about more than anything is like, okay, they already mentioned the default mechanics: classic point system, no loadouts, no minimap, right? And I think they also mentioned like no health bars or stuff like that, right? But they haven't said anything else. So like, I'm curious about rarities and stuff. Maybe that's not going to happen. If they probably would have mentioned it by now if that was going to change. And obviously we don't know what the other relics are. I'm okay with not knowing the other relics. I am. But honestly, the game comes out in a week, so we'll find out soon enough anyways. But like, I will say this is a very big difference between the first blog post when they talked about Curse, because they mentioned legacy mechanics and they even called it an old school challenge mode in that blog post. This time they did not mention a single classic thing. Maybe it's their way of being like, okay, this mode isn't going to be nearly as classic as people were expecting, right? And I get that. Like, if they don't want it to be that, and they want to just let people know that, then not mentioning anything about classic mechanics is probably the best way to go about that. Personally, do I want it to be more like classic zombies? Of course. And I feel like the stuff that they did mention does sound like it's closer to that, but we don't know the specifics. I also know, like, what exactly is going to make the mode so challenging beyond the relics, right? Is it just the relics? Or is there something else in the mode by default that makes it harder? Are the zombies going to be faster by default? Are they going to be doing more damage? Like, that is what I want to know, right? And I feel like this doesn't really answer any of that, because if it's just the relics that make it harder, is the mode really going to be that hard? Because the 2 relics they told us so far, I'm sure there's harder relics that they haven't told us, but the 2 they mentioned so far don't sound that hard. The 4 perk limit, okay, you could use side quests to get more for sure, right? So it's not like it's the end of the world. And then there's the no ammo caches. That's not really making the game that much harder either. But if there's one that like makes the zombies fast or whatever, there's just certainly ones that could make it harder. But that's what I wanted to know about this mode. Even though I feel like this doesn't really answer those questions. But it was cool to learn about the tiers and how the fact that there's 3 of them and how certain relics make that tier bar go up further, I guess, depending on how more challenging that thing is. And I guess there's only going to be about 3 rewards. It's only 3 tiers, but who knows? Again, this doesn't really give us a lot of information, but it's at least something. And also, I would love to know if it's going to be available on survival or not, because I would love to play curse mode on these survival maps, but it doesn't sound like they've confirmed or denied that just yet. Wonder Weapons customization and HUD. Oh, are they going to show some more HUD stuff? I mean, they already showed us what their zombies HUD was, but maybe they got something else to show us. So obviously we've got the ray gun returning, no shit, ray gun Mark II as well, obviously, and then the Necrofluid Gauntlet, which looks really damn cool. Give your enemies the finger with this symbiotic claw that fires liquid spikes and reels in stolen life energy. Okay, and here's the HUD. Yeah, so this is the same HUD that they showed us in that video before. Dude, I'm so glad you could turn off all this shit on the screen, man, because if I had to have this as my default HUD and you couldn't change this, it would be cooked. It'd be so cooked. But yeah, obviously you're gonna be able to turn off a lot of this stuff. And the classic score feed is returning in cursed mode, so that's good, because I hate the numbers that pop up in the screen there, and that stuff's terrible. But we're going to be able to have it right next to the points in curse mode, so that's going to be real fun. And as for the rest of the HUD, I mean, I don't know. I'm hopefully the HUD themes make it a little bit better, but I'm not really like, I don't think it's awful, but I just don't think it's nearly as good as it could have been. You know, that's kind of my perspective on it at this point. But I'm glad they at least tried. They did something different. They didn't just leave it as the multiplayer HUD. That is good, but I'm not exactly sure what else we'll have. So the default HUD layout with the Ethereum HUD theme. So I don't know, is this even going to be the default HUD then? Like, you're going to have to select the Ethereum one to give you that? I don't know. So yeah, they're basically just talking about the fact that there's going to be some HUD themes. Access the Zombies HUD preset menu and select your HUD layout, edit HUD colors, and modify the minimap. Also new to Black Ops 7 is the HUD theme. The one shown above is Ethereum, which will be available at launch, designed to provide a more zombie-centric accents to your customizable HUD elements. Expect more HUD themes as the season progresses. So that's the only one at launch then, and we're going to get more later on. I think that's what they're saying. Treyarch have been refining the interface options who are looking for even more streamlined look to their HUD. Here's what to expect at launch and beyond. A robust set of options in the settings interface and the gameplay HUD, which allows you to tailor your zombies HUD to your liking. Recommended settings for a simpler zombies interface are listed below. New to Black Ops 7, aside from the default theme available across all modes, is the new Ethereum Zombies theme. Okay, they already talked about that. Players will also be able to set their own dedicated HUD preset settings for zombies and multiplayer separately. That is great news. I'm definitely very, very happy about that for sure. Recreating a legacy HUD layout. So yeah, obviously this is... Wait a minute! Now, this is such a small thing that nobody gives a shit about except for me. But you know those little numbers that appear on the bottom left-hand side of the screen? I don't see them here. Does that mean you're about to remove that finally, or is that still going to be there? I don't know. It's such a small thing. It's a nitpick, I know, but it's like, I always get bothered by it. So yeah, obviously this is the classic HUD. I still don't love it because, and I might honestly still stick with this, but just remove the minimap and the compass and all that shit. But the reason why is this widget right here, this element, it's so big and long and blocky. Clearly it's built for a corner. It's not built to sit right here. So to me, it just looks kind of weird here. Like this area I don't like. I didn't like it in Black Ops 6 as well. It doesn't really fit. Like there's this weird space right here with just nothing. And you can clearly tell it was not made to be in that position. So that's why I don't love this HUD layout, even if it's obviously like attempting to be more like classic, but it doesn't really work for me exactly. But maybe I'll use it. I don't really know at this point. I do hope they make it a lot easier to like actually change your HUD. Like don't make it so you have to go through all the settings. Like there should be a way right when you load into the game, it should just ask you, do you want a classic HUD? And it just automatically gives it to you. So casual fans could actually have access to HUDs like this. Because let's be honest, most casual fans are not going to spend their time in the HUD settings trying to change stuff. They're just not doing it. And this is just letting us know like what you can turn off and on. Does it tell us about... Yeah, so why are medals and notifications combined? They gotta change that, man. Please, Treyarch, please change this. Medals and notifications should not be combined. A lot of us like notifications. Notifications are great. Like, I need to know when I finished a camo challenge or when I leveled up. That's nice to know that. I don't have a problem with that popping up. But the medals, get that shit out of here. That is not what I want. But everything else, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Here's some zombie intel stuff. Okay, they got this inspects and investigation feature. Oh, they're going to talk about Dead Ops Arcade. Okay, I kind of would be okay with them not talking about Dead Ops Arcade, to be honest, because I feel like this is the one mode where it's like I feel like I know it's going to be peak no matter what. Like there's no way it's not going to be amazing. So there's a casual mode, which I guess it's just easier. And then there's a normal mode, which is, I guess, a bit harder. Oh, so in casual, you're going to have the first-person perspective available right away. But if you want to have first-person perspective in normal mode, it looks like you have to beat Dead Ops Arcade for it. It says quest rewards, including a camo skin, which that is cool that there's a camo skin reward, and first-person viewpoint unlocks. So if you want to play first-person in normal mode, you're going to have to do that. That's kind of crazy. I actually like that, though. That's actually not a bad feature. Explore 80 levels, more than 20 arenas, unleashing chaos against the Silverback's clans, armies, and their vengeful new patriarch, Papaback. Expect an arsenal of outrageous firepower, including zombies, wonder weapons like the Wonderwaff DG2 and the jet gun, alongside vehicles, bonus rooms, Silverback challenges, Slayer maps. The new Slayer Mart hub allows players to buy from over 70 upgrades, pushing chaotic runs ever deeper into enemy territory. That sounds really interesting. Dude, this looks like it's going to be peak, man. Oh my god, I'm so excited. For the first time, the Arcade embraces full round-based mechanics with ammo mods, fit upgrades, and Gobblegums, all tailored to enhancing your Dead Arcade experience. Both top-down and first-person camera options are supported, letting players switch perspectives without losing pace. Every run contributes to unified progression. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be honest, this wasn't my favorite blog post they've done, just because I don't think we've really learned that much. They kind of just told us the stuff we already knew, and I feel like my issue with the way Treyarch deals with blog posts is that they do them in a way to where they're like, okay, we're going to throw in every single piece of information we can possibly put in, right, as much as possible, but half the time it's stuff we already knew. And it's like, these blog posts are not meant for the casual player who knows nothing about the game, because let's be honest, they're not looking at these blog posts. The casual fan who doesn't really care too much about what's happening with this game, they just want to play it when it comes out, they're not looking these blog posts up. They're not looking into them at all. But people like us, the people who have been following zombies for the past few months and listening to all the information as it's given, watching all the dev talks, like, we know most of this stuff. There's definitely some new information, but most of it we already know. And sometimes it's nice to see things clarified or reworded in a way that makes more sense or whatever. But I feel like 80% of this blog post was like, okay, we already knew that, right? And yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that at all, but I think there's a better way to implement these blog posts to where it's like directing us the new information more specifically. Maybe have two blog posts, one that's only the new stuff and another one that just throws everything in there because they just want to let everyone know what's available in this game. So that's the way I personally see it. I feel like they should have given you like a TLD, what is it, TLDR or whatever, is that the phrase? They should have given us one of those just for like the new information. But like, I don't think we learned a lot. But curse mode, it was nice to hear some of this clarified. It does worry me though, it really does, just because I feel like they're not really giving us a lot of information on like what the mechanics are actually like in this mode. They've told us a few things, and I don't know, I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to work, and I'm worried it'll end up being a disappointing mode because of that. I feel like at this point, if stuff like rarities were going to be removed, they probably would have mentioned that. If it was going to be available on Vandorn Farm, they probably would have mentioned that. And so I'm definitely worried that when launch hits, we're going to have fun with Cursed, but inevitably it's going to feel like a massive missed opportunity, a lot of missed potential with it. And I hope that if that's the case, at least throughout DLC, they can find that potential and they can make it better. But I'm worried that this mode isn't really going to be what people want or what people expect. And so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm definitely excited for this game. I will be playing it as soon as it comes out on November 13th, technically, because I'm taking that trip to New Zealand. So I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace out.